Hello, I'm Ricky Lee, and this is the Capital Compass. Today, we're heading to South America, where an historic shift is opening new doors for copper exploration. Chile and Argentina are already famous for copper, but until now, Argentina's Mendoza province has been essentially closed for exploration. But that's just changed, and Kobrea Exploration Corp is making the first move, holding a permit to explore in this newly opened region. With a huge land package, road construction having just begun, and drilling planned for late December or early January, Kobrea is positioning itself at the front of a historic new copper frontier. Joining me today to tell us more about this is James Heldalen, CEO from Kobrea Exploration Corp. James, welcome to the Capital Compass.
Oh, thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
So, for those new to Kobrea, James, can you start by introducing the company and explaining how this opportunity in Mendoza came about?
Sure. Yeah. Quite simply, we're a copper exploration and development company. We started to focus on Argentina a number of years ago, looking in some of the known copper belts. And then we got wind of Mendoza. So what Mendoza been doing the past 6 or 7 years is having a concerted push to open up a portion of their or a southwestern portion of their province. It was led by the governor of Mendoza and quasi-government or a government adjacent agency called Impulsa Mendoza. So we learned about this prior to it officially being open, but what they have done is they'd conducted an environmental impact study across the district so that companies such as myself and other foreign entities would have, some security in the ability to explore. So how we were able to get it was we were there kind of first, and we were able to negotiate the vendors, meet with the government officials, people like Impulso Mendoza. So it's a concerted push that's been 5 or 6 years in the making, and I have to give a lot of credit to the governor and government of Mendoza and Impulso Mendoza to build the framework to build a modern, sustainable mining and exploration environment for Kobrea.
So, James, tell us how significant is this opening and what does it mean for the future of copper discovery in Argentina?
Yeah, so good question. Argentina in general is a very prospective country for their minerals. Mendoza, historically completely underexplored and in some cases unexplored. The fact that you can get in there and explore these targets, we're not reinventing the wheel of porphyry copper exploration. It's just you've been unable to do it. So these are geologically known projects. We just, are the first people to be able to get a drill permit. So in that sense, over the coming years, there will be discoveries made in Mendoza. We just happen to be the first to be permitted to go and drill some of these targets.
And what does being that first mover mean in practical terms for investors and for your exploration strategy?
Yeah, so us being first for, from the investment standpoint is pretty unique opportunity. To get a land package like this in one of the world-class belts that has, 10 to 12 porphyry targets outlined at surface. Um, Being first is great. I think there will be others coming once we can prove that you can get permitted and get drilling. I think it'll give a re-rate to the province of Mendoza as an exploration and development destination. So for our investors that, are invested in Kobrea, we're going to be able to drill these projects for the first time in history. It's these would have been drilled 30, 40 years ago, and there would have been multiple campaigns from multiple companies all over this district. And right now, in the near term, the next couple months, we'll be able to drill them for the first time.
So you've assembled a huge land position made up of 7 projects and containing over 12 porphyry targets, including recently permitted El Perdido. Can you give us a sense of the scale and what kind of mineral potential you're seeing so far across the project area?
Yeah, so the scale of these they're big. These are we have 730 square kilometers of claims with a number of identified porphyries. Each one is a multi-kilometer alteration system. I always say to people, we're not reinventing porphyry copper exploration. They're very textbook. They just haven't been drilled. So it's a heavily leached environment, but the geochemistry, magnetics, and alteration mapping would suggest, we're looking at copper gold or copper gold moly systems. You need to drill to assess the grade of these systems. and they would have been drilled 30 or 40 years ago. The environment has changed, and you got to give a lot of credit to the provincial government of Mendoza for having a good framework that they've worked on for the past 6 or 7 years. So I would say the potential is massive. I mean, there's going to be discoveries made in Mendoza. We have a number of kicks at the can in terms of we have El Perdido, El Destino. I mean, our focus right now is El Perdido. It's permitted. We're currently building the road. But yeah, no, the potential is across the whole projects is enormous. It's kind of a unique position to get a land package such as this, completely underexplored in one of the world-class belts.
So as you just mentioned there, you've begun the access road construction. So drilling expected to start later this year. Can you walk us through that timeline? What's happening over the next few months? What milestones should investors be watching out for?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, as just announced, we've started the road construction, the fully permitted road to get to the target area at El Perdido. That should take 30 to 40 days. So if it's on the low side of that, we could potentially have the drills spinning later this year. But with Christmas coming in, it'll either be mid-December or early January. That's really going to be the big kind of catalyst for investors is the first drill hole in this district by a public company in history. And then there's also, we have crews working up the other targets to the El Perdido standard, El Destino being one that is very close. So we need a few more weeks of mapping and sampling on that to determine where we want to drill there. And then it's a matter of systematically going through the rest of the targets and developing them to kind of that El Perdido standard and systematically going down the line and exploring this land package systematically and cost effectively. But I think the milestones for the next few months would certainly be getting the drill turning at El Perdido and then getting El Destino up to that standard of El Perdido so we can permit and drill that in subsequent exploration campaigns.
Well, it's nice to know that even miners get Christmas off. James, thank you for joining us today and sharing the latest from Kobrea Exploration Corp.
No, appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
For more information, you can visit KobreaExploration.com. I'm Ricky Lee, and this has been the Capital Compass. See you next time.